Hi, welcome to the Tay Experience podcast, and this title is going to be called Sports and Clubs. I'm your host, Kayla. I am an intern at the Tay internship, and I also have some guests that also like to introduce themselves.
Hi, everyone. My name is Javier Vicuna. I am a former Tay radio host and also the teacher for this Tay internship. So I'm really happy to be able to be on the show with you guys. And yeah.
Hi, everyone. My name is Levi. I am also an intern here at Tay Radio Marin. And yeah, I go to Sarahville High School.
Awesome.
Okay, so what I wanted to start off with the show is asking everybody just a simple icebreaker. So I just wanted to ask, what is everybody's favorite album right now?
You're really putting us on the spot
Yeah.
like that right now, huh?
Right now, though, like recently.
Like right now, I have to look at my on repeat on Spotify, and that will tell me, honestly. But I guess off the top of not album. Oh, okay. I know what I'm going to say. Justice's new album, or actually not even that. So Justice is like this electronic duo group, kind of like Daft Punk, and they've been making music for a real long time now. I'm actually seeing them in concert in May, so I'm really excited for that. But they came out with an album called Hyperdrama back last year, and I've just been playing that whole album on repeat. It's really good, good dance music. So yeah, I'd say that's been on my radar right now.
I don't know about album, but I've been listening to a lot of Zoe. It's a Spanish rock.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Wait, I've never heard of
Dang,
that.
Levi, okay,
Yeah.
I hear you.
There's this one song I keep putting while I do my homework, and it's Labios.
Rotos,
Yeah.
the MTV Unplugged one, yeah.
Wait, is this like a genre of music that I'm missing?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
Spanish rock.
Rock en español, yeah. It's really funny you mentioned that, Levi, because I'm also really into Caifanes right now. You've heard of Caifanes?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm really into Caifanes as well, which is another like very famous like rock in Spanish band and stuff. Okay, I respect that.
Yeah.
I respect that. Yeah, cool.
I mean, I guess I feel like mine right now, which is pretty obvious, is like Cardi's album, I'm Music, right now. Like, yeah, I really like that one right now.
Okay.
And I know it's really famous, but like there's like a good like 6 or 7 songs I can pick out from that album that I really love. So yeah, I just wanted to get that through because I love talking about music.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so with our first segment, we're going to be talking about the clubs at our school. And my first question was, what inspired you to join your club and or start a club?
Let Levi take that one on.
Well, I feel like I joined a lot of clubs because, they're just like another way to get like an extracurricular out, but also because, like each club has their own group of people and like they all have their own like intentions to do some sort of change, whoever starts it. Yeah, I mean, like when I started Earthbound, which is the environmental justice club, I knew that there was like a environmental justice club before mine, so I was kind of like, oh, I hope people like would be willing to join this. And I put like a lot of work into it, and yeah, I'm glad I got it through and stuff. And I think what really like inspired me to want to do that is it's like just like seeing how Marin is always being praised for being so beautiful, and the people here never really want to do anything to protect how beautiful it is, and it kind of made me sad to see it that way. And I'm like, as a school we could do something. So I was like, let's just start a club, like might as well.
Yeah. And that's a pretty good club too. Like it's very like valuable to have clubs that benefit like not only other people but the earth as well. Like I feel like it's really important to like understand that, especially for people that don't understand what they do when they like throw their cup outside or like throw food like throw food that they haven't like consumed like a lot of, I guess, like wasting food.
Yeah.
Totally. I mean, I agree too with what you said, Levi. I think one thing that I always get from a lot of my friends who visit from like the East Bay, from the South Bay, who come down here to the North Bay here in Marin, is that immediately they're like, oh my God, Marin is so beautiful. There's so much greenery here. Like it feels like less like not like it's not
City.
developed, but
Yeah.
it feels like a little like a big little town.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it is very beautiful, and we have a lot of trails. I mean, we're home to Mount Tam.
Yeah.
Mount Tam is beautiful. So that's great that you created a club. But what actually inspired you to call it Earthbound?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I was talking with my vice president, Alex, and we were discussing like names. We were like, oh, what should we name it? At that time, I was like thinking like, we were like in between so many names, and I was like, everyone's like bound to be in Earth. So I was like, you know what? I'll just call it Earthbound, because technically, there's no person that's born on another planet. Everyone is bound to be born here. Everyone's bound to stay here. Unless you're like an astronaut or something. But you grow here, you cultivate here, you live here, and you learn everything here. So you might as well just be bound to it. Yeah.
That is really smart. I really like that. I didn't know like the significance of like the background name. I just thought it meant like around the earth, like you surround around the earth, but I didn't know the background. That's really interesting that you talk about that. Okay, so my next question was, what was your favorite event, like being in the club?
For Earthbound, I think like we didn't really get to doing a lot of events, since it was mostly like the first semester of school rather than the second, since there's a lot more going on in the second semester. But I know that my vice president helped organize like to go to like a sort of field trip during the weekend, like a Saturday, to help the Golden Gate National Parks, and like this event where it was like about planting 200 trees under a bridge, since it was just like empty.
Yeah.
And a lot of my club members went, and I went to go peek because I was like around the area, but I wasn't able to go because I had work.
Yeah.
So I passed by, and it was like everyone looked so happy, and it was really beautiful to see like so many people like getting their hands dirty and like really like immersing themselves in like this experience, just like touching the earth. Like, I sound like such a like nerd about
it makes
good.
sense. It makes completely sense.
Yeah.
It's good to be passionate about what if you're going to be doing the club, it's good to be passionate about it, because then, you can come up with amazing events like this. And actually, one thing I forgot to mention too is I did actually create a club when I was in high school. I created the anime club when I was in high school. So, this is like 2014. We're talking 2014.
Okay, that's fine.
So, 2014 anime club wasn't as cool as anime is now, because I feel like anime got really mainstream over the pandemic. So at the time, one thing that was tough was just getting more people into our club. It was interesting because like it was me and my one of my good friends. He actually he drew like this big like anime poster and stuff himself and put it like ready like on the, because do they still do that at SR where it's like when it's Club Fest or something, like they put all the clubs and you guys have your table and everything. Yeah, so we had like our own Club Fest table. And we got some signs. Our original idea was to like do like field trips to like Japantown and do like field trips to like some of the anime conventions that were here in the Bay Area. But then we realized it's really hard to organize that when you have no money or resources for your club. So we would just watch like different shows like lunch and stuff. In Mr. Bond's class. So if you know Mr. Bond, shout out to Mr. Bond. I remember he would just be looking at the TV and be like, wow, okay, that's interesting.
You know what? Yeah.
You'd be like, okay, cool. So
That's so nice.
I didn't know you had an anime club, but this reminds me of like also that I used to like be in the K-pop club when I was in high school. I used to love K-pop. It was horrible, but
what? There's nothing wrong with like K-pop.
No, I mean there was nothing wrong with it, but I feel like during the time like that's when K-pop like wasn't really
mainstream.
No, it wasn't mainstream.
So we were in similar situations here. Yeah.
So we didn't have that much budget. I didn't realize budget was so important for clubs in high school. I thought I already had it when I made the club. But no, I understand that. But I was gonna ask both of you like what were the challenging parts about like actually like setting up the club and like putting like through the events and everything.
Yeah.
There was like so many things that went into the club because it's like you have to have like a secretary and a treasurer, vice president, like all these people with different positions, and like they all are in charge of something. So it's like one person is like in charge of the money, which is the treasurer. The other person is, well, your vice president. The other person has to write down like how many minutes you do, what you do in the club meeting, and it's so conflicting, and it made me like not want to keep doing it. Sometimes I would just cancel because I was like, I'm really not feeling it this week. And sometimes some of my like members, like the people that would help me run the club, sometimes weren't available that day, and it was kind of hectic because I wouldn't want everything to fall on me. So yeah, and then I'd have to give my position to like, or like whatever meeting we were doing that day to like my vice president so he could help do whatever we were doing that day. So that was really stressful. It's just like, I guess like having to coordinate everything, having like a Canva presentation done. It's like every single week. Like,
oh, you did those? Wow,
yeah.
Canva presentations too, and all that. Yeah, no, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
I think for me, probably our biggest struggle was like keeping people invested to come to the club.
Oh yeah,
right.
Too.
So at the start, like we had like a ton of people come in for like the first one. Like we had a ton of people, and everyone had like suggestions, and then people want to talk about certain shows and stuff. We're like, okay, great. But then like as the semester went and people got more busy and stuff, like the numbers started getting smaller.
Yeah.
So that became a bit of an issue because it started becoming to a point where it's like, okay, it's just us and like 3 other people watching like a show. And then, but it just I think that kind of naturally happens with high school clubs, like because everyone just randomly gets really busy and it can just lead to, numbers get smaller over time. So that was definitely one of the challenges. And then kind of elaborating a bit more on what I said about budget and stuff. I mean, it is really hard to get to the administration and tell them, hey, is there any way we can like, they're like, oh, you got to fundraise all that pretty much by yourself or find money on your own. Yeah. Which is kind of a lot to ask from a high school.
Yeah. Like a 16-year-old, like who doesn't even like have it together yet. You're asking them to make a fundraiser to get like $1,000. No.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So yeah.
That's great. Like I was gonna say that for this question, like specifically, and when you're talking about I'm trying to remember my brain.
Was it budgeting?
No, not the budgeting. It was before that.
Administration?
Yeah, the administration. No, even before that. It was you were talking about the people going to the clubs and stuff.
Oh, and
like numbers getting smaller.
Yeah. It was like, I feel like for me, like I'm in college, so I already go to like 2 clubs, so BSU and the LGBT club. And basically, like for some reason, it wasn't the issue that the numbers were getting smaller, but it was like they wouldn't stay consistent either. Like they would be really up at the beginning or really down in the middle for whatever reason, and then go back up. And it was like, or like, for example, for the LGBTQ, like I remember going to one of the meetings and there was literally like 4 people there. And for the event, we literally just played like Mario Kart. Like we didn't really, we didn't really do it. Like we ate Mario food. Kart. Yeah. Like I was okay with that. Like, yeah. But we played it and it was just like me and my friend. But then one day, like I saw they were getting out posters that they were gonna do the drag queen show. Yeah. And then so I remember that was only for the club. Like I remember that was specifically only for the club. And then I don't know, the posters came down again, and then they said that was for like Dominican students, like everybody could go. So I feel like at that point, like a lot of people wanted to join the club, but only for the sole purpose for like the activity reasons, like what they can offer. So I feel like that's the main reason too, is that like
kind of lost track of the message of the club.
And it wasn't like the drag queen race like wasn't okay. Like I was like, I think it's really good that they're doing that, but it was like the show in general, like what the meeting was, like the people that showed up specifically, which were older people like that don't really go to Dominican, and then you have like students like me that are like on the LGBT club, and they are, it didn't make sense to me. And they had money too because they wanted to give money. Now they want to give money, so it's just like it didn't really make a lot of sense to me with the
age ranges
and the inconsistency and the I don't know, like the random pop-ups where like people can just like intervene the club whenever they want. Does that make sense? Yeah, I'm not saying like it's not inclusive for anybody, but it's just like don't find it a way to like exploit like clubs and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. That's a good point. Like I said, you definitely want to be careful with who's organizing these things and making sure that their intentions are good and they're not just doing it for money or doing it for the purpose of like, oh look, here's something I can check mark for my own personal gain or something like that. Because unfortunately in Marin that does tend to happen a lot because there isn't an LGBTQ center until now, which there's going to be one here at the Multicultural Center of Marin. But the only LGBTQ plus center that was here in Marin closed down about a year ago now. I think the SPAR Center. So that the SPAR Center was like really the only resource hub for LGBTQ students and anyone really. And they did a good job. I remember they did a good job of like setting up like protests and advocating for trans rights, LGBTQ rights, all this stuff. They did great work. So I'm glad that we're here at MCM. We're actually having this space here for them to use and bring that up. So I'm excited to mention that. But yeah, I agree with you, Kayla. I think people need to always be aware of like, okay, what is this person's intentions? Right. Are they really here for this community or are they just here to just
for entertainment
profit,
reasons?
Entertainment or profit off of it, right?
Yeah.
So I just didn't want the big event to be something like a piggy bank for the school is basically what I'm saying. I want it to be a real event for real students that are queer or gay and they can actually feel like they're in an environment where they feel safe. That was my main issue. But my last question for this segment is, what advice would you give to someone getting involved in your clubs?
I'd say maybe Levi, you could talk about your other club that you've been a part of.
ASA. I'm social media manager for that club and it's really fun. And like they also have been stepping down like for the second semester.
And what's ASA? What's that stand for?
Asian Student Association.
Oh, okay.
And I think like tips on both sides for both clubs, I think, is be like engaged in what's going on. Because I mean, it's like important to be engaged in order to be in part of a club because it's like you have that experience to want to do and get to know things better. And really immerse yourself in like I love like saying the word experience because it's like you really like in clubs you do get experience in doing things. Like in Earthbound there would be like a lot of people that would come to meetings and they would just be there to hang out with their friends, I guess.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then like I think I remember one explicit memory. I was like explaining to the club like, like it was about the event that we were gonna do, and then like this person, one of my close friends, brought this other group of friends, so they were like just sitting there and they were like, oh, can we watch a movie? And I was like I don't want to be mean, but like I'm not gonna like do that. Like you came here for a purpose, like please like
participate in what we're gonna be talking about.
So I guess for both clubs I would just really say like try your best to be engaged, be focused, and like really try your best,
Yeah, I agree. I think also when not just the anime club but like also other clubs that I had been a part of, like we also had a video game club. Like when I was I didn't create it, but there was a video game club there. And I remember when I was there, it was always very, I guess with both of the clubs I was in, they're very consistent with what it is. Like anime club, okay, it's about anime. Like you can either watch it or discuss it, not really planning anything. In video game club, you're there to play video games. That's pretty much it, right? But I do want to connect what you said, Levi, to what Kayla said about, again, just not losing focus of what your club is about, right? And I know I get it. You're talking about college club, but also, either high school or college, I think it's still very important to take it seriously, because it's a good experience and it looks good on a resume too. Like if you put, especially like something like what you did and Kayla, what you've done, like those are very like social justice type clubs that look really great for resumes and can be really good. Like, hey, I was part of this and I helped organize this and that, and you just get a lot of good professional experience from that type of stuff. So that's the other thing, and that's why I think it's just good for clubs to also just meet new people, right? I mean, and it can be fun. It's not like we're saying that, oh, things can't be fun. We can't have a movie night.
I know,
but it's just always keep in mind to keep things focused, so that you don't lose track of the message, right?
And like a little bit of education, like you don't want to make a whole club and have no education like on it, like like I feel like for the BSU, like the difference between the BSU like club for me and the LGBT club is that the BSU, like the Black Student Union Club, it focuses more on culture and like Black culture, but like also like the fun parts about it as well, but also like the more serious parts about it also. But with the LGBTQ club, like I love it, but I can definitely say it's like a lot more like fun and like come if you want, you don't have to type vibe, like but yeah, I feel like both of those are like super welcoming, and they both like maybe, I don't know, they're both like super chill, like they're just very chill clubs, which I really like. They're not like peer pressuring me into like doing like much, because I know that like some clubs do, and like what do you call it, attendance is like really important for some as well.
Totally.
But some of these, like, these are people that I know that I'm friends with and they're in these clubs, so they know that like even if I do miss out, it wasn't because I wanted to, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Levi, I want to ask you, like, the Lunar New Year at your school, is that soon or did that already happen?
It already happened. It was for Asian Student Association. And it was a Lunar New Year, like, festival night, kind of. Since Lunar New Year...
It's like at the end of January, right? Towards the end of January?
Yeah, for a lot of Asian countries. And it was kind of started to, like, commemorate, like, Asian heritage and stuff. Yeah, it was really nice. I got to take a lot of pictures of people. There was, like, face painting. And this wasn't at our school, which was funny. Like, the president, the vice president. It wasn't at any of our schools. It was at Terra Linda High School, so another school. They let us use their commons because the administration at our school is just like what Javier was saying. Like, it's just very, I don't know.
Hard to get
I don't
through.
know if they were busy, or I don't know if it's because the cafeteria and the other school was better. I don't know. But yeah, it was really nice. It was so full of food, which connects people.
Absolutely.
Games. Yeah, and it was just like fun to know that there was like so many people there. Like, I got to introduce myself to so many new people, and like, you know, it touches on like every basis that you guys were just talking about, like with so much like social justice and like experience. There's also this like really good like profound like feeling of like belonging in clubs, and I think that's something really important.
I was just about to ask. Yeah, I was just about to ask you too, like, like, what did it mean to you, like, to be in that type of environment? But you just like kind of answered it for me. Yeah, I would say like community is like really important during those times, and you definitely saw a lot of that. But I remember like back when I lived in Georgia, they used to have like these festivals too, and I remember seeing a lot of that as well. And gosh, I wish they had more of that like around here. I think it's really important.
To answer your question, we actually, so I recently learned about it too. So there's this restaurant here on 4th Street here in San Rafael called Yetwa. It's a Chinese restaurant, and they do something for Lunar New Year every year, where they do like the dragon dance.
Really?
You know, like where they have you know, they put on, you know, it's like these dragon puppet almost. I don't want to call them that. I'm sure there's a right term for them.
I should remember. I took Chinese.
But it's like, it's really, really cool because I think it's like kids, probably, you know, 9 to 12 or something, like pretty little kids, and they're all like dressed, like they're all dressed up in this like, you know, traditional clothing and stuff, and then they have like this, they're like walking around with the dragon, and the dragon can move its eyes and can move its mouth, and it's really, really cool, and it's like this whole dance to it. And unfortunately I couldn't make it this year, but I learned about it this like a few, I have known about it, but the thing is, it's like that's all I really know that really happens around here in Marin is that event, and they always get like sold out, or not sold out, but they always get like reserved very often.
Reserved.
Like,
I was gonna say sold out is crazy because I haven't heard it yet, like at all.
But that's one I could say. And then also just San Francisco in general has a lot of Lunar New Year festival. I think actually for Lunar New Year this year at San Francisco, they had like Steve Aoki or some famous DJ.
Probably.
Like do like a free concert in Chinatown.
He's always doing something.
Yeah. I think that's what happened this year. I know some DJ like did some huge set in Chinatown this year. So that was really cool. Yeah.
Celebrities are always here when I'm not around.
Yeah.
I think it's a good thing though. But okay, so our next topic is going to be about sports at our school. So I wanted to ask first though, like, what did everybody like play basically? Like, what was your sport? Like, did you do anything like even in high school or like even now?
I'd say I did tennis. Yeah, I did tennis. And I did some cheerleading. But I'll touch on that later.
Yeah.
I did my freshman and sophomore year. I did football over at Centerville High School, and then I just was not happy with how the football coaching was, and I just moved on to lacrosse. Also, at the end, like the second half of the semester for sophomore year, and then I lacrosse. I think also I just did lacrosse for sophomore year. I really enjoyed it. I really loved lacrosse. But then after that, I actually moved on from sports and just did theater for 2 years after my junior year. So I was really happy to have done that change. But we can also talk about that a little later.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But for me, like I just did gymnastics for a little bit, and then I did a little bit of like color guard, which is in marching band. And color guard is basically when you have a flag and you're dancing around with the flag. So if you remember me, hi, I'm your captain. But yeah, so my first question is, what made you want to join this sport and or this activity?
To be honest, I really liked how the outfits looked. I thought it was cute, and I was like, I want to be my tennis girl era. But then, I ended up like really falling in love with it. Like, there's nothing like the adrenaline rush you get from waiting for the ball to hit back the racket. And I feel like that's so nice to like have that and like build your stamina. It makes you feel really accomplished, I think.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, because I remember tennis has been going on for a while at Centerville High School. Like, I think that's probably one of the longer running sports that we have over there. For me, I just joined football because I've always been a fan of football. I actually did flag football at Davidson when I was over there. And I really loved flag football because we had a really good coach. We were actually... Sorry, it's a funny story about there. So with flag football, our coach was this like local rapper. And he was really cool. He was really cool. He goes by Catalyst. He still makes I think he still makes music. I'm not sure. Anyways, I just loved it. It was such a good time because that's when I saw like sports can really like bring different people from different backgrounds together in like a team setting. And he was really good at like keeping us like together and like bonding with each other, which is so important for like teams and being consistent. And I just love that experience. We actually won the championships for the flag football for Davidson at that time. So, pretty cool over here. But anyways, what's funny about that is that so our coach, he made a victory song for us. So there's a victory song.
A victory rapper song.
Yeah, like a victory rap song where he like literally made a rap song about like how good we were. And he
I have to hear that.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find it. I don't know. It might be on like my really old phone, but he did like a live performance of it too, like when we won and everything. And it was really, I mean, looking back at it, we were cool. It was cool. Because he's not bad. No, he's not bad. So it was really, it was also cute because like he like incorporated like all of our names into the song. Like he like rhymed all of our names.
He said your name too.
Yeah, he says my name.
No, rhymes with Javier.
I don't even remember what the line was, but he had some lines. Anyways, so that was cool. So after that, I was like, okay, yeah, I want to go do football at high school. And then, oh my God, just completely different because the coaching was just awful. Completely different. And then also it was not just Davidson kids, like, at SR, there's people from Benicia Valley there now. And there's from all different middle schools. And we all kind of just didn't get along with each other. Like, and also like half of our team just like had like 2.0 GPAs or couldn't stay like consistent with their grades. So I don't know. I stuck up for 2 years because I mean, like my best friends were in there too. So it was like, I was cool with being there because I was with my friends. But after a while, I was like, this sucks. I'm just gonna get out of this.
Yeah.
But the other thing I was gonna mention about sports is that it's such a good way. At least football for me, it helped me lose a lot of weight my freshman and sophomore year. Like
Crazy.
I lost a ton of weight. So that's one thing I was very grateful for was when joining a sport. Yeah.
Yeah. I would have to agree on the lose weight part. I don't know why, because like in a way, we're both on the same field anyway. Like we're both on the football field. I'm on the football field where I dance. You're on the football field because you play football.
Yeah.
So in a way, like I understand the lost weight part because like I would literally we'd just be dancing like for like probably until 5 to 9.
Dang.
I think. Yeah. We would just be working on our like our field work and like how we want to perform, like where everybody should be like standing. And I would just be like front row and center. Like I remember I had a solo and we had to literally keep redoing the set over and over again because like one person would mess up. And so I would have to spin like and do all these moves all over again.
Yeah.
And that would just be so time consuming. Like I didn't want to quit. That was the thing though. Like I didn't find that like exhausting. Like I kept wanting to like dance, you know what I mean? But it was just like that caught me, the lost weight. I don't know. I think that was the reason why I was losing so much weight because we kept doing the same thing over again.
Also, because dancing is like such a good way of doing cardio too. Yeah, it's like fun cardio. It's not like I hate running, but it's such a good way of also getting in shape. Is just running. So anything like any cardio like that, like dancing and stuff, can be really fun for sure.
Yeah. But the reason why I forgot why I want to mention that, but like the reason why is because our director, aka like our coach, he would like schedule those. He would schedule like the marching band and also the color guard and the dance teams together. So he would make sure like both of them were both on the field together. So when we would be dancing, there would be times where some of the marching band members would argue with one of my members, or like somebody didn't like each other, so there would be like beef on the field, like, and there would be so much just so much drama. And then he would always like come through and just be like really supportive and make sure everybody's like opinions like were communicated. But he still works there too, which is what's like crazy to me. And then like I'm still like some of my teammates are still on the team and they tell me like he's still like great, he's like really nice. So yeah. But I wanted to ask you, like, how was your coach on the cheerleading team?
Spill the tea.
Yes. Oh my god, guys.
Let's do it.
Well, during tryouts, I was a freshman when I tried out. And I was really like alternative, I guess, in my fashion. I had green hair. I wore chokers, big eyeliner that went past my ears.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I feel like a lot of the girls that tried out, they were very like, I'm not gonna like be like, oh my god, they were like, so preppy, like, but they were like really like they look very well put together, very pretty girls. And sometimes like I would just hear like rude comments, and then be like, oh, like not about. Like they wouldn't talk about you to your face, but just like here and there. And I was like, oh. And that was during the trial process. I was like, oh. And then when I actually got to meet the coach, the JV coach was really nice. He was, he really held my hand through whatever, like the really short amount of time I actually did it. But then I always kept hearing stories about the varsity coach that was apparently extremely rude and mean. I never really got a conversation with her until like my sophomore year, when I was like, you know what, I'll try out again and see what happens. But then like I kind of didn't want to go through with it because of how excessive, like how many people were like talking about this coach, saying that like she put a lot of pressure on girls to be the best and do their best, and like even shame them for like not being or doing everything correctly. And it was really sad to hear that. And I just like, that's also something that was really unmotivating to want to continue doing it. And, you know, it really made me step away from cheer altogether, because it's like so many girls were dropping out. And I was like, oh my God, like I hope it's not that bad. But then I was like, you know what? For my own like sake, I'm going to protect my peace.
Yes, protect your peace. I don't know, that type of like toxic environment, like if the whole team is not together, then nobody's together. Like it's always been like that. Like you can't have like many like friend groups in like a team. Like everybody has to work together.
It's not good to be like super serious. Like, okay, it's I mean I understand wanting to be serious and wanting to be the best, because SR, when I was there, you know, our cheerleading team is really good. Like we're one of they're like national level good, you know. It, like they have so I understand the coach wanting it to be like take things really seriously because they want to keep that like reputation up. But at the same time, that's not a good way to sustain new people into the cheerleading, right? Because one thing I remember too was when I was at probably you know, I think my sophomore year during advisory, they actually were arguing whether or not cheerleading was considered a sport or not. So what they did was they had the students vote, and they gave us like a little slip that just said, do you think cheerleading is a sport, and if so, give a reason why. And you know, obviously cheerleading is a sport. I mean, it's pretty,
anybody who says differently is wrong.
I'm just sorry, that's just completely wrong. I mean, dude, the stuff that cheerleaders do, like the whole like when you guys like do the whole thing, and then like all this like the jumping in the sky. And
I was like
a
base for the time that I did cheer, and it's like when you're holding the person up. Like there was like what made me like not continue is when a girl fell on my neck and I like could not get up, and I was like
unfortunate,
and she was wearing like Vans, and I was like it was bad. But wow. Well, I just told you guys why
no, because I remember I hit when I was doing a spin one time on the field, and mind you, it's like iron rods, like it's like the iron flag, it's not like plastic, it's like a silver iron flag, so they're very heavy. So I remember like doing one move where we had to toss it in the air, and I don't know if you guys know what like a double is, but like a double is basically like when you toss something in the air and it spins twice in the air. So I had to let that spin twice in the air. But the thing was, my brain, I guess, like stopped. Like I guess I was in airplane mode for like performing for so long that like my brain like literally stopped, and then I was like, wait, where's my flag? And like out of nowhere, I was like, wait, where's my flag? And I realized it's in the air. And so like as it's coming down, like it just like hits my shoulder like really hard. And like I had this like huge like gnash. I don't know how to explain it. It like opened. It was really gross, but I'm okay.
Dude, I'm glad you're okay.
Like I just like that was just a random thought. Like when you're like performing or like doing any sport, it's like your brain instantly goes into like a gym mode or something, and you have to like lock in for like I don't know how many minutes, like amount of hours. It just happens too much. But
and injuries are so common also in football too.
Like
I can name so many. And scary. I have a really scary one. It's very gory. I'm not gonna say
okay
to make people not cringe. But I will say it happened actually to one of my best friends, which really sucks. And he had to be in crutches for a couple days, and it was during a practice game. It wasn't even
like during a
real the other thing. Exactly. But anyways, he broke a bone, and it was really intense. And yeah, dude, it's just one of those things that I'm grateful it never happened to me, but like I'm just saying that it happened. Especially the good thing is that when you're young, you're able to recover like your bones and heal like a lot faster than if you were to break a bone like when you're older, right? So there's that. But at the same time, I mean, there's always that risk, especially with contact sports, right? But also with your guys' sports, because you guys are doing super intense, like complicated moves, you know. So
and in an outfit, like I can't do it. Well, you too. You're wearing an outfit too, but it's just like.
But at least we have like guard, like
I didn't have guards.
You have guards, and you get concussions. I actually got a concussion in lacrosse. Just getting like we were just practicing like throwing the ball around, and I missed shot and it just hit me straight in the head. So
oh my god,
that hurt. But I had a concussion for a couple months, so that wasn't great. But yeah. But that happens. Like I said, it just happens.
Yeah, I think it's like one of the fun moments that happens in sports, because it's just like you finally got hurt. You finally worked so hard. And it's just it's just like you can stop for a minute.
I'm working hard.
It's like everybody can tell.
It reminds me actually. So, have you guys ever read Diary of a Wimpy? Do you guys remember when Greg tried to like break his arm on purpose or something because he wanted to be he wanted to get people to sign it's like that's how you know, like everyone who would break their arm, they'd be like, hey, at least I get to get people to sign my arm and stuff now. So
it's like that was a flex.
Yeah, it was a flex. Exactly.
Like if you got damaged and you were in a sport, like you were immediately cool, like for no reason.
Yeah.
But one of my my side question is basically like for you two, since you both have like some like iffy like relationships in like sports. So my question was, if you could change something like while you were still in there, like what would you do? Yeah.
I think I'd be I think I would be like more supportive of the rest of the girls, because I know maybe I was new, so they didn't have like a really like, I guess, like soft spot for me yet. So I think I wish I would talk more and, you know, introduce myself instead of hiding away, pretending to be someone I'm not.
Okay. Yeah. That's very honest. Yeah. Because if I remember correctly too, for cheerleading they do like that Disney World trip. Or Disneyland trip. Yeah, that was one thing. That's one thing I remember, was that they would take the cheerleaders to like Disneyland or something at the end. Yeah. Like it was that big. Like they had a budget like that where they could take all the cheerleaders to Disneyland.
Lucky.
But again, there's that comes with like this whole ego complex that both the coaches and probably the coaches like favorites. I remember hearing that from some friends who I had who were in cheerleading. That's like, oh, she's like always like praising her and not praising me, or and we're working just as hard. You know what I mean, so it's just. I guess that's one piece of advice I would say is I wish that our coach, because that happened with football too. Our coach actually he was like hard on us, but he just didn't like know a good balance between being hard and being like an a-hole. Yeah. I mean, to put it like nicely, you know what I mean? Like it's just, he didn't know that balance, and that's what turned off a lot of us as like players, because like, okay, like you were just kind of getting us angry in not a good way. Yeah. Because I know he wanted to get us angry so that we would like play like more aggressively. Show it on the field, exactly. But I don't think that works out, especially as a high schooler. There's definitely been times where like a lot of our players would get mad at the coach, take it out on a player, and then start a fight on the field, and then we'd get like, the player would have to leave the field. So it doesn't work out. Like just being that type of coaching never works out. So, I don't know how SR's doing now. Is our football team still bad, or how were they?
All of the boys are very much like going through things, I think, psychologically because of it. Like I honestly, because like I've had friends that are on the football team, and like they're always like telling me like, oh, this is like, it's so hard to endure, but I need to do it because it makes me feel good. And then, like maybe that's like something like psychological, and it's like you really don't notice that until you like put yourself in a position where you're constantly being like told things. I guess.
Because like I feel like with some people's assertiveness, it can come off like either like really bully or like really like tough love, and then it comes off, but then it comes off like really crazy like on the field, and you can't control that. Like teens are very like young, like they have a lot of emotions and they feel a lot. So I feel like when you're telling students like certain things and trying to manifest certain things, it'll come off like completely different. Like with the fight, like I just feel like that's happened to like when my old coach would be telling me things like to keep me, like this was before I was captain too. This was like when I was a regular teammate. Yeah. But he would do little things that like might trigger how I'm feeling like when we're on the field. And it would either like I'd either be really, really hard on myself, or I would like completely like, you know what, like no, I'm not applying any more pressure, I'm done. Like I would literally be like, I'm just gonna be the laziest I can right now because now you've underestimated me, and now I don't feel like I don't need to do that work, or I feel like I've been underestimated, now I feel like I have to. So I feel like the psychological, it could be that, and he could be like feeling like he's downplaying how he's working on himself, and the coach could be doing that still too. But that makes me feel bad.
Yeah, and I think also the coaches tend to like mistake that with, oh, she's giving me attitude.
Yeah.
He's giving me attitude.
Yeah.
But it's like they get so caught up in their own like, way of thinking that they don't even think like, hey, look, this person's going through, you don't know, especially as high school students.
Yeah.
Like we're going through a lot,
Dude.
and like the last thing you want to hear is have someone like yelling at your face and telling you you gotta work
how
harder.
you should work. Yeah,
Exactly.
It's like my least favorite thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And my next question is like, to get all the bad things out the way, because we already talked about it. What's your favorite memory like being on these sports? Yeah.
My favorite memory is probably like we had a senior night and we all got like all of the JV team got to give the varsity team a rose as like a final goodbye.
Yes.
And we could choose like anyone, whoever we want. We would just go up.
I
and give
remember
them a
that.
rose.
Yeah.
And then I gave my rose to someone with the same name as me. So
Oh, look at that.
this girl named Leslie.
Yeah.
She's so sweet. But I gave her the rose and it felt so nice. I like got to hug her and everything, and seeing how they were all so connected, and they put like their handprint on the wall of the tennis and it was the tennis court, and it was so like beautiful to see. And I think it was one of my favorite memories, even though it wasn't like specifically for me or like anyone on my specific team, but it felt so nice to see that they had like such a good experience, and like it made me be like, oh, like I'm so excited to do this next year, like as a senior, like
Wow, that's great. I was gonna say for me, it's definitely lacrosse memory. We played over at San Lagunitas High School. My first time ever being at that high school. I didn't even know it existed. So what happened there was, it was a pretty intense game. And one thing about our team in specific, and I think SR in general, is we have a lot of like Hispanic kids on our team. Like it's just dominantly a lot of like Hispanic kids. And over at Lagunitas, it was pretty much an almost all white team, and they were getting like really, really like competitive with us. And then it got to a point where like one of the guys was like, "Oh, you guys are playing like y'all in the hood right now." And stuff. And I was like, and dude, all of it, like one of the defense players was like, "What did you just say to us?" Like, you know what I mean? Like he really wanted to trigger something in us, and I was like, "Okay, we got to win now. Like, there's no way we're letting that slide." And like, but dude, stuff like that happened. And that wasn't the first time that's happened with us too. I mean, MC kids have said stuff to us, especially in football. It's just unfortunate that that stuff happens, but anyways, we beat them like 10-6 or something.
Yes.
We were like
Barely.
we won pretty well.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is like the players themselves were like not great people, but like the parents and all the other people there were like super supportive of us, and were like actually really sweet, and they gave us like burgers after too and everything.
Okay.
Yeah, that's nice.
So it's like we took a W in a good way. So that's probably definitely one of my favorite memories, just proving them wrong and just being like, hey, we're just a better team, dude. Like, it's not even anything about like race or anything, but
no, that was barely
like,
competition.
Yeah,
like,
it's like, but yeah, I'll never forget that. That was definitely one of the big highlights of that season. Yeah.
That's so nice.
What was mine? I would say like mine is low-key similar to like yours. Okay, I remember, I think this was in, I don't even remember where this was exactly, but this was in California, and we had a competition, and this was when I was in like Winter Color Guard, and Winter Color Guard is basically, and it's called Winter Guard, and Winter Guard is basically when the color guard like marching band, because they're usually together during like the football season. And so that ends at like November. So like as soon as November stops, like so does the marching band. But winter color guard still like performs. So literally at January, that's when winter guard starts. So then we started competitions. And I remember this one time, like me and my friend, like we were the only two black girls on the team, and I was also captain at that time, so it meant a lot to me as well. And it meant a lot to like cherish a relationship with her, because I wanted to be like a good like I wanted to have good spirits like while we were performing.
Yeah.
So when we were walking to our destination to like where to practice, I guess 2 girls like saw us in our costume. We were wearing like very bright yellow like outfits. Like we did look like Eskimo markers. Like we didn't look the best. Like I'm not gonna lie, but I was definitely not gonna let anybody talk about it though, because I was like, I want the positive vibes to keep going until the end of our performance.
Totally.
So basically, like these girls were just like making really mean comments, and I can't say it though, but like they just screamed out something like really rude and disrespectful.
No.
And it made my friend like disappear, like go to the bathroom and like cry.
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
And it's just like she's like literally only a year younger than me, so it put a lot on my chest because I feel for her, but I really wanted her to like to be strong, and I like told her to like put that energy out and put that out in your performance. And we both have our own like separate solos in the show. So I did not perform actually that day. I'm not gonna lie. I got sick. Like after that, I got so sick.
Dang, dude.
And like I threw up. Like it was bad.
Yeah, I mean those types of comments, dude.
Yeah.
When you get those comments and you hear them like in your face, they definitely I feel that turning your stomach.
Yeah, it turned my stomach, but that and like performing and like the nervousness, like it got to me. And I sat down with my coach and I told her, I was like, just apply that same exact pressure, like just put that on the stage. They were going to perform right before us. So it was like, put that like anger, all of that animosity, like you need to apply that, and then you need to see like how good you actually can perform. And of course, like she did really, really good. Like I literally got goosebumps. Like I'm literally getting goosebumps now thinking about it. Like, but I watched her perform. We got either first place or second place. I can't remember. But we got
Congrats,
top 3.
awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
And even that day too, like the music stopped. Like the music stopped out of nowhere while they were performing. There was just a lot going on that day. Yes. But they were still performing. Like people were clapping, and like I was counting for them like out loud. And it was in the basketball, like the basketball rooms, like in the schools, like in high school. Yeah. We were performing in there. So like imagine people like clapping while like you're performing and stuff. And then when we finished, like we got a round of applause.
That's awesome too, because you guys were like an out-of-state team.
Yeah.
And everything. Yeah.
No. We were still. No, this was in Cali.
Oh,
sorry.
Okay, yeah.
No, you're good.
Okay, still, yeah.
Yeah, but it was just like, even with all those like mishaps and like all that happening, like the fact that we still got top 3, it gave us like a good peace of mind that we're great performers, even like on our worst days. Like it just really made me feel good. Like at the end, and even still, like we just kept going up ever since. Like never got less than 3rd. Yeah, so it was good.
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
But should I ask one more question? Because we have 3 minutes left. I didn't ask one.
We have actually about 6 minutes left. It's 6 minutes.
Yeah,
right
6
now.
minutes. Sorry.
I'd say we can kind of have this kind of time to just kind of wrap.
Yeah.
Say any like last comments, few words, or if you have any last question right now, you can throw that in right now too.
I have a question for Levi. One more.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Okay. So my last question was, from switching from the tennis to cheerleader, like what was that type of environment for you? Like, because I know you like tennis, but cheerleading was like different. It was the team and the coach. Like, what was that like?
Well, I think I was a freshman when I did cheer, and I waited till junior year to do tennis. Because I always wanted to do it, and I did go when I was a sophomore to tryouts, but I ended up getting so nervous. I didn't go to the actual tryouts because I, having like that trauma from going to tryouts to do cheer, it made me feel like, I'm not gonna be able to do this. Yeah. But I ended up doing it, and I think that changed from going to like because cheer's like indoors and stuff. It's like it feels more closed off, and the people feel closed off sometimes. I felt like I got adapted a lot more quickly to doing tennis rather than like being like I don't know. Also, the teams didn't feel split apart. Like there was varsity and JV, but it didn't feel like varsity and JV. It felt like a team,
Yeah,
and
that's what it should feel like.
And stuff?
Yeah.
Oh,
and that's what I think was such a difference, like being together versus being like separated in 2 different rooms doing 2 different things. Yeah. And that environment just like it helped a lot. It helped shape, I think, the rest of like my future experiences on the team, which were all positive. So.
Awesome.
Okay, that's really good to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, that wraps up our show. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for my guest for coming in as well. I'm your host, Kayla, and this is the Tay Internship Podcast. Thank you for joining. Bye.
Yeah, thank you guys. Bye-bye.